Hi guys, welcome to another video tutorial. I'm Josef Botnar. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to calculate the weight differences in Excel 2016 and BMI, both the weight differences or to monitor the weights for residents and BMI are very important indicator for the resident health state. This monitoring of weight and BMI is used very often in care homes, as I told you, to monitor the health state of residents. So let's go ahead and let's see how you can do this. Firstly, I'm going to show you how you can create a sheet to calculate the weight differences for certain patients or residents. First, I'm going to change the name for this sheet from sheet 1 to weight. Here you go. And now I'm gonna to set each columns. So actually I'm gonna to build a table. The first column is gonna to contains the names. So let it be name. And next will be the month of year. So I'm gonna to write first January. I'm going to write the first three letters from January, and I'm going to use the autofill option, and I'm going to go here and drag this Jan till December. Let's see, I release now the month. Okay, let's see, let's remove this. I don't need this. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay, I've got the whole month of the year. Here I'm going to write the unit of measurement, which I'm going to use in this application. Is going to be kilograms. Okay, so let's write the name of patients in this column. In the name column, I'm going to use the alphabetical letters to avoid any coincidence. Let it be the first patients A, B, or resident. So whoever the name is, A, B, C, D, E. I stop here. Obviously, you can continue this list, these columns with how many residents you have in your care home. Yeah, and now I go to set each month of the year. For January, I need just one column. I will show you later why. And beginning with February, I need two columns. So I go over here, click right of the mouse, and click on Insert to insert another column for each month, beginning with February. Sorry. And let's move this unit of measurement. Here I need two columns beginning with February, because the first column is going to contain the weights, and the next column is going to contain the weight differences. So I'm going to write here plus backslash minus, means these columns will contain the weight differences, which can be plus or minus. Enter. I receive this message from Microsoft Excel because I should change the format from general to text. So I'm going to remove this. Enter. I go back on this D6 cell, and I'm going to give a click on this button to have this format cells window, and I'm going to select text and OK. So I'm going to copy this with format painter, and I give left click. I copy with the format painter, and I give click, and so on. Copy with format painter and left click with the mouse. Copy with format painter and click left mouse, and so on. And now let's copy and paste this in each these columns. Now it works, as you can see, because I changed the format cell from general to text, and it works without problems. Okay, here you go. Now I should do the head, the table head. So I'm gonna to select the table head, and I go here over here where the borders are, and I'm gonna to use these thick outside borders for outside. And oops, here I should remove this A, and I should start here down here with A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, it's okay. And now I'm gonna to set each columns for name, yeah, using these thick borders. February, this is quite a boring stuff, but I have to do it. As you can see, I've got for each month of year, except January, two columns. The first column situated on the left side is for weights, and another one is for the weight differences. This column will contain the formula which will calculate the differences, the weight differences between current month and previous month. That's why I fill in this plus back / minus. Okay, let's go ahead to finish this table head. Here you go. So I don't need this column, so I'm gonna to remove it. Here you go. And I'm gonna to set the name of each month in the center of these two columns using this match center. Here you go. Yeah. So let's start to fill this table with weights. So let it be for the first patient 80, the next one 78, 69, 72, and 73. Okay, for February, this resident A weight, let it be 81.50, 79, 68.50, 72, 71. Okay, so let's set those plus minus in the middle of each these columns in order to look properly. Here you go. In these columns for each this month of year, I'm going to write a formula which is going to calculate weight differences between current month and the previous month. So the first month of year, which I'm going to calculate the differences, the weight differences, is February. So I'm going to use this equal operator. And maybe are you wondering what is difficult to calculate the weight differences between current month and the previous month? It might be a simple subtraction, yeah, between current month and previous month. Yeah, let's see if this is that simple. Let's see if that works if I use a formula, a simple subtraction formula between the weights of current month and previous month. Let's see if that works. Okay, so I'm going to take over the weight from February, from this cell C7 minus operator, and I'm going to take over the weight from January from this B7 cell. Enter, and here you go. The outcome is correct. So obviously this resident gained 150 kilograms in February compared with January. Yeah, so I'm going to drag this formula down till to E resident. So the result is correct for each resident. The B resident gained 1 kilogram compared with January. Another resident lost half kilograms compared with January. This D resident didn't didn't gain, and last resident lost 2 kilograms compared with January, and so on. Now this works properly, as you can see, for the first month. Let's see if this formula works correct for the following month of year. So I'm going to copy and paste this formula in this column which represents the March month. And every time when you copy and paste the formula, I recommend you to check out the formula, because there could be mistakes. So I give a double click with left mouse to see if this formula is correct. So it's not correct because we don't need this cell D7, which represent the weight differences. We need another cell C7. Now the formula is correct. Enter, and let's drag this formula down to E resident. Let's copy again this formula and paste here in this column for weight differences of April. Yeah, and let's check if the formula is correct. Yeah, the formula is correct. So let's drag this formula down here. Okay. So as you can see now, for March we have this outcome for weight differences, which is not good because it's not possible one resident human to lost 81 half kilograms in 1 month. This is complete absurd, and so on. This continues. As you can see, another resident lost 79 kilograms, and so on. So that means this formula doesn't work for the following month of the year. So I should change the formula. I should do something which will make this formula to work. These cells should be empty when one of these columns, which represent weights, is not filled in, when it's not entered the weights for the both month, for the current month and for the previous month. The result of this formula should be nothing. That means the cells should be empty. How I can do this? So I go back here in February, and I'm gonna to change this formula using if logical function. I'm gonna to put this subtraction in inside this parentheses, and also I'm gonna to use or logical function and here inside each parenthesis I'm going to use the cells which is part of this subtraction. I mean C7 and B7. So C7 equal quotation marks, B7 equal quotation marks, and here comma, again quotation marks, comma. Okay, now this formula should work. How this formula works? So this logical function if, as you can see, contains 3 positions. The first position is a test. If the result of this test of the first position is true, the logical function if will execute the second position, and if the result of this test is false, if logical function will execute the third position. In my case, on the first position, which represent the test, I've got this or logical function which works like that. If these 2 cells are empty, doesn't contain anything, the result of this logical function or will be true. So if the both tests are true, the result will be true. If one is true and another false, the result will be true as well. If the both are false, the both tests are false, the result will be false. So if these 2 cells will contains numbers, that means this logical function if will execute this difference. What I wanted this formula to show up a result just if you enter the weights for the both month, for the current month and for previous month. If you don't fill in the weights for the both month, for the current month and for previous months, this formula doesn't show anything. The result displayed will be an empty cell. So let's go ahead and let's see how this formula works. I give an enter. Okay, so as you can see, the outcome is not changed. Yeah, it's the same for February. Let's copy and paste this formula in the following month, here for March, for example. So let's check if this formula is correct. Let's see here. We don't need this cell, so I'm going to move this cell here. So now E7 and C7, the formula should be correct, but I've got here this cell selected, which is not okay because I don't need this cell actually, D7. So here is the problem. Here I need E7 and C7. Here you go, enter. And now the formula is correct. Let's drag this formula down to E resident, and as you can see now, the formula doesn't show up anything in these cells, in this column. But if you notice, I've got formula in each of these cells, but the formula doesn't show up anything. Why? I will explain you in a minute. Let me to copy this formula in each of these columns. Okay, now let's drag down here the formula. Let's do another check. Yeah, the formula is correct, no problem. Now I'm gonna to copy and paste formula in each of these columns, which represent weight differences. Yeah. Okay. Now this formula was dragged in this column, I think. Now I go here and I drag till E residence. Good. Here you go for each month. This is the last one. Okay. Oh, I don't have formula here. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Good. So as you can see, I don't have anything in these cells which represent weight differences for the following month of year, March, April. Even the formula, as you can see, is in there in these cells. So why this works like that now? Even I've got fill in here in this column the weights for February, but I don't have fill in the weights for March. So this formula, as I told you, works like that because this test, this or logical function, as I told you, at least one of these cells is not filled in. So now actually E7, it's about these cells. E7 doesn't contain anything, but C7, as you can see, contains this weight 8150. So that means this the result of this cell E7 is false, and for C7 is true, and the result of this or logical function will be true because at least one of the tests are true. This logical function or will the result will be true. So now I go to if logical function, if the result of test will be true, logical function if we're gonna to execute the second position, so this one which doesn't contain anything, I type just quotation marks, so they even is not space. If logical function is gonna to leave an empty cell, as you can see. If I'm going to fill in here in each these columns for the following month the weight, this formula will start to show up the outcome, the result of weight differences, plus or minus, because if these two cells contains numbers, that means the result of a logical function or will be false, and the logical function if will execute the third position, which represent the subtraction between weights of current month and previous month. So let's enter the weights for March, for example. Let it be 82, 80, 67, 69, and here 71. As you can see, as I entered the weights, the formula show up the result. Now the formula works correct. So this is the way for this formula to work correct. Now I go, as you can see, for April, I don't, the formula don't show up anything. Why? Because I didn't fill in the weights for April, which is absolutely normal, because I can't have any difference, any weight differences if I didn't enter or I didn't weigh the residents in April. So I'm going to enter the weights for April. So let it be 81, 79, 66, 68, 70. Okay, so each resident lost 1 kilograms. Yeah, so I go ahead. As you can see, as I enter the weights, the formula show up the result. So now it's very easy to work. After I finish to build the formula, The rest of it is very easy to do, is very easy to work, and you go ahead. As the next month turns up, you just enter the weight, and as you can see, the formula show up the result. And here you go. I'm here on December, so 81, let it be 81, 71. Let's see in September each of them gain weight. Okay, so I finished this table and the formula which calculate the weight differences. So I'm gonna to draw here the borders for the outside. I'm gonna to use these thick outside borders for outside, but first I'm gonna to use these old borders for inside. And for outside, as I told you, I'm gonna to use this thick outside borders. So here you go, and here I'm gonna to give a title for this table. Here you go, and I'm gonna to set this title in the center of this table using this merge center. And let's play a bit. Let's give a background color here for this title. Let it be this orange. For a table head, let it be this light blue. And here I can use as well this thick border. Okay, and for each resident I can use a color. Let it be this gray. Here let it be some green color, background color. Let it be this one, and so on. You can play now as you want, as this table to look good. Okay, now you have the weight differences calculated for each month of the year. What you have to do, you should protect your formula, because someone else or even yourself can remove this formula. I can press by mistake the delete key, and the formula was removed. As you can see, I go back here on undo to recover this formula. So in this state, how this table is very easy to delete, to remove, to change the formula, to change the weights, and so on. It's very important to lock and hidden the formula. How you can do this? You go first here on this component, and here on format cells, go on protection, and click actually, because you don't need to hit all this table, you need to hit just the formula. You go here and select the formula for each month, and tick this hidden option, and you go and do this for each month of the year. Here you go. Yeah. So let's make this bigger here. Let it be 24 and bold. Okay, good. So even here, let's make this bigger. Let it be 12. Okay. Let's see if this is enough, if just we ticked the hidden box. So I am going to press delete key. So as you can see, no, it's not enough. I'm going to go here over undo to recover this formula. So you should go here on review and give a click with left mouse on protect sheet and enter password and confirm your password. Yeah, okay. And now your formula is hidden. As you can see, the formula doesn't appear here in the formula bar anymore. You can't see the formula. No one can see this formula anymore, and no one can change this formula. As you can see, Excel doesn't allow us to change the formula any longer. But let's see if we can change the weights. So even the weights we can't change. If I finished this weight differences for 1 year, it's good to lock all cells because someone else can change this data, these weights and the formula. But if you didn't fill in all the weight, so go back on unprotect sheet. I'm going to unprotect the sheet entering the password. Okay, and let's remove the weights for December, for example. Yeah, and for November, for example, I didn't finish this 2 months, but I'm going to leave the formula hidden and locked, but I don't want to lock this 2 months because I need to enter weights. What I do, I go here on home, again the format component, I go here on protection, I uncheck this locked. Okay, I do the same for December, protection, uncheck locked. Okay, now I go back on review, protect sheet, I enter again the password, I confirm the password. Okay, and now if I go on October, for example, I can't change anything here or before. But if I go here in November, I can type the weight, because if you remember, I unchecked the lock cells for this month. So here you go. Now I can fill in with the weight for November. Yeah, 64, 82. Here you go. So that's all for today. In the next video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to calculate the BMI. BMI stands for body mass index. It's another very important indicator of health state of residents or patients in care homes or hospital. Now at least you have an example how you can monitor the weights each month, and in next video tutorials I'm going to show you how you can use Excel to monitor BMI, which stands for body mass index. Thank you for watching this video tutorial. I'm waiting for you to watch another my video tutorials. See you next time.